Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'd like to call the Monday, June 8, 2026 Town Council meeting to order. And we will begin with invocation by Councilman. Okay. Payne.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, Lord. May we direct our thoughts and our actions towards what's best for the town, for the people in the town and our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first on our agenda is, I trust you all have had a chance to review the minutes from May 11th and from the April 28th work session, as well as the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections? Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. We have no awards and no presentations. At this time, we'll conduct our first public hearing, the abandonment request. Town Manager.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor. So the first public hearing is for, as I scroll through this, a request to abandon, propose a vacation abandonment of platted unopened Peyton Street right-of-way. And council will see in their packet, it's just a sliver of Peyton Street at the intersection of Carolina and Burkell Street there. It is the request comes from the request comes at the request of the property owners on both sides. The parcel in question is undeveloped, has no town infrastructure, and is not part of any future plan for development. Adjoining property owners are in agreement, and staff recommends approval.
I'll remind everyone, since we do have several public hearings tonight, if we could keep our comments to 5 minutes to allow everybody a chance to express their feelings. Are there any comments on the abandonment request? Anybody wish to speak for or against that? Going once? Twice? 3 times? Okay. So do we close that one?
Public hearing is closed? Do we need a motion to close the public hearing here?
You do not.
Okay.
Okay. All right, the public hearing for the abandonment request is closed, and now we'll move on to the public hearing for the boundary line adjustment.
Sure. So council will recall that we have this boundary line adjustment we've been discussing for a little over a year. The BLA would take in the town cemetery, public works building, the remainder of the industrial park not already in, including property purchased by surrounding property purchased by industrial park individuals, companies. And just a sliver of remaining railroad property that is not currently in. And in addition to the Dominion substation across the street from the industrial park. The county discussed and has requested that that council approve before they schedule a public hearing. The original intent was to schedule them both together so that we could advertise together and save the county a little bit of money, but they wanted to do it after we did it. Letters were sent to impacted property owners. No comments have been received, and staff recommends approval.
Anyone wish to speak for or against? Thought it did.
Just have to say it.
Oh, open the public hearing. Sorry. Is there anybody who would like to speak for or against this one?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What is the primary objective of the BLA?
To take in the remainder of the industrial park, generate just a little bit more tax revenue, to take in the town cemetery, which is currently not in town limits, which is strange, and some of the property. Clean up the map a little bit.
Okay, so no concrete objective, just bringing
Well,
stuff in, just expanding town limits.
Correct.
Okay.
Would we also be including the maintenance building down there, or was that
Just
already?
the Public Works building.
Public Works. Oh, maybe you said that, I'm sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we will close the public hearing on the boundary line adjustment. Next topic is the property acquisition.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor. So this is public hearing for the proposed acquisition of real property for economic development purposes. When a locality acquires property for economic development purposes, state code requires the town hold a public hearing. The town has a contract on the property, but we'll need to vote before we can close on the property. The property will be used for the food and micro enterprise hub, which is a grocery store, farmers market, and food truck corral. A grocery store has long been the highest goal of our comprehensive plan and would serve as an anchor business in the heart of our commercial district. A request for a proposal, or RFP, for grocers has been issued with the due date of June 30th. We have received approximately $350,000 in grant funds and are applying for an additional $50,000 in grant funds for this project, and staff recommends approval.
All right, I'll open the public hearing on the property acquisition. Does anyone wish to speak for or against?
Hi, I'm Kathy Parker, and I am against the acquisition only because the same opportunity is not being afforded to other business owners as well as residents, and that's acquisition of other buildings. Currently, right now, 100 West Carolina Avenue is in process of speaking with DHCD, and the town manager has stated that he would not apply on the behalf of the Town of Crewe for that. So I really believe if you're giving this person an opportunity and Crewe is actually matching whatever that is, the $50,000, or going to get the grant, I would ask, why is the same thing not being done for the nonprofit? The money is not going to come out of Crewe's pocket. So that's it.
Thank you.
I'm not prepared tonight because I just found out about this meeting. But I'm very concerned about the food hub, as it's been dubbed. I'm very concerned about the Town of Crewe becoming property owners and leasing property to people, citizens. I find this very problematic. Since the onset of our new town manager, which was almost 2 years, was it 2 years ago? I just look around at this community center, which is falling flat on its face. It's filthy. It never looked that way under the Stinson's care, but it has looked that way since the town has taken it over, and I was one of the ones that voted to buy it and own it. And when we get into the business, if the town gets into the business of buying property and leasing it out, then we have the problems of, well, what happens if the lease isn't paid? Then you have an eviction problem. And now we have something we're going to dump on our attorney because we're going to have to use your services. Furthermore, it is my understanding that the original grant, that there was a $50,000 grant written on behalf of a citizen, a specific citizen. I have yet to be able to find out concretely who that citizen was because I cannot get Phil Miskovic, our town manager, to respond to my calls or my emails. I find that problematic. I find it problematic to find out that Kathy Parker had reached out to Phil, or our town manager, and asked him to help her with a grant for her building, and that was denied. However, right after I found out about the food hub and how it all came about with the evicting of the church and all the ugliness that went behind that, I find it hard to, I sent an email to our town manager asking if he would be willing to write a grant for me. I'm a business. He wrote back and said, absolutely so. I have that in writing. Why is Ms. Parker not being given the same opportunity? I think these are the problems we get into when we start playing with real estate, and it's an open case for a lawsuit. That's what it is, and we don't need lawsuits. What we need is good management. And if we have a situation where our manager is unable to manage the town itself, just the cleanliness of the town, doing the curbs and the gutters and everything, why are we taking on a lease for a grocery store? We should not be in the business of buying property that we lease out to people. I have just so many questions that I can bring back to this situation, but I don't have enough time on this mic tonight. I believe, in my opinion, that this RFP request that's been sent out came out after the fact. It came about to gloss over the fact that our town manager, wrote a specific grant for a specific person. And that, to me, just rings of illicit activity and dishonesty and lack of transparency. We don't need that. We have enough of that at every level of government. Why are we bringing it here to this town? We're better than that, or we should be. Going back to when I made the comment about the community center, it's my understanding, and I could be wrong, I got this kind of on the fly tonight, that when Jess Foss was given the position she was given, that was a position that was originated for Kissy. That Kissy was let go, or however she departed the Town of Crewe, I don't know, and then Jess got it. I would like to know if that was from grant money. Was that position funded by grant money, or is that a position that we're paying for with city funds? So many questions, and I do feel like this grocery store is just premature. Everything was done bass-ackwards, and that's not the way it should be. We have a church that lost their lease. Because of not having the knowledge to do it right. And that bothers me. So I think that calling this public meeting tonight is also premature to what is already pretty well set. I know how almost every single one of you are going to vote. But if you're listening to the citizens and you've got your ear to the ground in the town, there are not many that are for this. And our needs are starting to be met. Dollar General is adding in meat and produce into their little store. It's probably not going to be much, but it certainly would be enough to get our town people through an evening without having to go to Blackstone. So that adds competition to whatever store you want to lease. We want to run now, right? I mean, we have a Mexican market. We have. I could just go on and on. This is premature, guys, and there needs to be a whole lot more thought put into how this is going to happen. I'm not saying for myself, no, don't do it, but I can tell you I feel pretty strongly about it. If we can't take care of this as a piece of property purchased by the Town of Crewe, why on earth are we going into that? And the church loss, it's a sad day in Crewe that came down the way it did. Good night.
Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Jess, and I'm here to speak out against the acquisition of the property that once housed the Hispanic church. I'd like to reference the Crewe Downtown Revitalization Plan on page 13. It outlines the revitalization planned area, and notably that building is not included in it. So my thought is, given that building is not included in the finalized revitalization plan, that when the lot was determined to not be available for purchase without the building, that a pivot to the town green revitalization location at the previous Wilkerson lot would have been a great location, as the farmer's market was already planned to go there. So this revitalizes the corner of 460 as well as our downtown. There is a vacant building here that could have housed the grocery store, and it is planned to have a paved area for tents so it can house all of the town events. It provides a venue, and we have this kind of really impactful revitalization option here. But that was not considered. Instead, we as a town, as a community, displaced a church, and that was really unfortunate. So given that that was the outcome, and when we have this like really awesome spot available that is available for grant funding, according to the revitalization plan, the total cost to revitalize and renovate this corner is about $500,000, which is in line roughly with the grant funds allocated for the food hub. So I mean, it seems like a pretty awesome little option there that could be done. Instead of purchasing property, renovating that property, I did see another grant was applied to abate hazardous materials within that building, and we don't even own it yet. Not to mention that the RFP is not due until June 30th, so we may not even have a business that qualifies, that has put in for has submitted proposals, in which then us as a town have created a vacant building then on Main Street, which would be the antithesis of our goals of revitalization. So because of these points I've made, that is why I am against the town purchasing the Hispanic church. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, I'm Ralph. And the first thing I noticed when I came in this building was the smell of mold. It's very strong. It's clear this building has foundational issues, among other things. And you can't keep up your own buildings that you already own. I'm sure there are more that you own that are probably in a similar condition. So I don't see the point in buying another one just to let it become dilapidated like these. And also, if any of you are God-fearing people, I would be worried about Judgment Day of displacing a minority church as well. And I think you wouldn't have pulled something like that if it had been a white church. Just the same reason as one of these people got a consideration for a grant, but the other one didn't because of skin color. So I think that just proves this, like they said, there was this grant written for a local grocer, which I'm sure a lot of us speculate who it is, but nobody will speak up and say it because you're ashamed. So thank you. I'm against it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else wish to speak?
Can I speak on behalf of somebody?
No, ma'am, not if they're there.
Can she give me permission right now?
No, I'm sorry. But she's welcome to come and speak. All right. All right, hearing no more, I close this public hearing and we move on to the next one, which is the FY27 budget.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor. The FY27 budget is the next public hearing. So we are not proposing any increase in taxes. Per council's instruction, per our past policy of trying to increase the water and sewer rates, so that water, sewer, and sanitation rates to account for the changes to, or the state issued stuff that we're going through. There is a $6 increase to the total utility bill. Water goes from water stays the same, water overage stays the same. Sewer base goes from 43 per 1,000 gallons to 44.50 per 3,000 gallons. Overage stays the same, and trash collection will go from 32 to 36.50 per month. And that is for the in-town residential customers. It would be similar increases for other customers as well. So major cost increases this year are the result of a 20% increase in health insurance costs. 2 new optional plans are proposed for existing employees. A low deductible plan becomes the default for any new staff beginning on or after July 1st, 2026. The budget assumes all employees will remain on the existing plan. All existing employees will remain on the current plan. The budget also includes partial funding of equity increases to bring the lowest paid employees closer to a living wage, especially as the Commonwealth increases the minimum wage to $15 per hour by 2028. The balance of the equity increases will be addressed in the fiscal year 28 budget. 13 existing and 2 unfilled positions are impacted by this. 4 law enforcement officers, 2 public works laborers, 5 sanitation workers, 1 existing worker and, 1 existing water and 1 existing wastewater operator, and the 2 vacant water, wastewater dual positions. A 3% increase is included for all other full-time staff not included in the equity increase. 2 part-time positions are eliminated and 1 part-time position is greatly reduced. 1 unfilled water and 1 unfilled wastewater position are eliminated, and the 2 remaining unfilled water, wastewater positions, in addition to all future water and wastewater employees, will be cross-trained. The budget includes no increase to water, 150 increase to sewer base rates, and 450 increase to sanitation rates. A new low usage tier is also proposed for utility bills, capping total base bill at $100 for in-town residents who have a 12-month average of 1,000 gallons or less per month. Overage rates will begin after the first 1,000 gallons for these individuals. Eligible accounts will be automatically enrolled in this program. Customers may opt out of this program at any time but cannot re-enroll until the next evaluation period, which will be annually. Accounts will be evaluated for participation at the first quarter of each calendar year. Currently, there are about 105 accounts who are eligible for this. This is especially for the individuals who are very low income, live by themselves, elderly individuals who don't use a lot of water but have no way to decrease their other bills, as others do who can simply use a little bit less water because a lot of their bills come from overage. These individuals have never used overage with 3,000 gallons. As I mentioned, no tax increases are proposed. Capital projects total $8.1 million, with only $284,000 coming from fund balance, and that actually will decrease, based on an email I got today, by about $50,000. I mentioned in there the airport runway, that part of it would be because of cost increases over the last year. Only some of it would be covered by raw runway, the rest by capital funds. And it turns out the capital funds, because the first part is covered by raw runway, the capital funds are actually also at the 5%, not at 10%. So that is very good news.
Yeah.
So that is the budget in a nutshell. Anyone have any questions? Well, I'm sorry. We can discuss questions during that time.
So I'll open the public hearing on the budget. Would anybody like to speak?
So there is $3,500 allocated for janitorial services, for contract services for this building. However, During my time as a staff member, those funds were unable to be spent. So I'm wondering if, moving forward, are those funds going to be spent? If they're on the budget, are they, if not, what are they being used for? And what is the plan for that?
Yes, they're in the budget, so they can be spent.
But will they?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay.
But they weren't spent that way. When Jess was in that position, she had been asked to do the job. It's wrong. If the allocation is there, use it the way it's supposed to be used. I've asked a question over and over, so now I'm going to make it public. How many new jobs have been created since Phil Miskovic has become our town manager? Simple question. I'd like to know how many jobs, new jobs, that were not here before he came up, how many new jobs have been created? And are any of those jobs paid for by grant money, or are they being paid for by town money?
Anyone else? Anyone else wish to speak?
Can I finish? I forgot one thing.
Go ahead.
The other day, my hubby came in and said, there's 7 people from Public Works cleaning our gutters and our streets on our block. 7. 7. What on earth is going on? Is this a misguided direction on trying to make the town look better? We all might start with enforcement. We have rules on the books that just need to be enforced, and that would be a first and major big step, is to enforce what's here. Make people mow their yards, okay? But why are we sending our public works people out to cut, to edge and to clean gutters? Just a question. I would like an answer, though.
Oh, right. Well, I can argue either way.
Anyone else wish to speak? All right, at this time, I will close the public hearing on the budget. All right, moving on in the agenda, the next is public comment. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
How you doing? My name is Carla Barkley. I spoke the last time you had a meeting on the speeding situation. You have done nothing again. Here on this piece of paper, you say East Tennessee Avenue and 2nd Street was monitored from 5/13/2026 to 5/19/2026. Bold-faced lie. I come in and out of my garage from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon till I go to bed at night, which is roughly around 11, 12. One cop was out there one day for 2 hours. I haven't seen anybody yet. So what monitoring are you doing? Again, I'm going to say this. Somebody, excuse me, sir. I would like for you to pay attention when we talking, because this affects you too. Thank you. Everybody else can acknowledge me, you can acknowledge everybody else that's up here talking, instead of keeping your head down. This affects you. You're the town manager. I need you to do something. Somebody is going to get hurt, and I'm going to say this to you. Last Monday, a child almost got slammed because you're not doing what you're supposed to do, but you're feeding lies to the public. This is a bold-faced lie. You got a speeding trap way at the other end of Carolina Avenue, but you don't have one on 2nd Street where the speeding is every day all day. It's getting ridiculous now. Your cops getting paid to do what? Nothing. You're getting paid to do what? Absolutely nothing. This speeding is out of control. We have kids that come to our house. And when they out there playing, if one of them kids get hurt, I can almost guarantee you, this lawsuit that you're going to get, you're going to be broke for the rest of your life. It's ridiculous now. The speeding is out of control. I'm hearing from people that I know from the town. Get the car license plate number. Get the car. Not my job. That's what you pay the officers to do. Get it under control, or I'm telling you guys, you're going to have a lawsuit, and it's going to get bad. When that kid was that close, that would have been a funeral you would have been paying for. There's a bunch of kids. Now that school's out, these kids are up and down the street riding their bikes, and these cars are steady speeding. They don't even try to hit the brakes. They want to keep pew, pew, pew. I can almost guarantee you no car on that street does under 30 or 40 miles per hour. Excuse me, sir, I am still talking and you're still putting your head down. Come on now. This is what this meeting is for. You should be paying attention to us when we're talking. But these numbers right here, these are all lies. That date is a lie. And I'm telling you, it's a bold-faced lie. Nobody sits out there. No cops, no radar, no nothing. So whoever is writing this stuff down, tell them come talk to me. I'll stand out there. You pay me. I'm telling you, you guys need to do your job, and them cops, they ride up and down the street all day long. Why can't they sit there for an hour or 2 or 3? Matter of fact, sit there the whole day. I can guarantee you they'll triple what you lied about here. That speeding, I'm telling you, somebody gonna die, and it's gonna be a kid. And it's gonna be, and I hate to say this, it might be one of your family members.
I'm back. I just want to voice my displeasure with the fact that our town manager does not wear a suit to work. This is the top position in the town of Crewe. He comes to work in shorts and a shirt and tennis shoes and no socks. Does that, I too feel like she did. Phil, can you please look at me? Just like everybody else is. Are you looking? You're not going to look. I'm waiting. If you could give this lady the courtesy, why aren't you affording it to me?
I had to keep asking him to look at me as well.
I'll wait out my 5 minutes to see if it ever happens.
You don't care about what you're saying, that's why
That's exactly correct.
I think he needs to be voted out.
Short comment during my 5 minutes, but I will continue to wait the full 5 until he looks at me or chooses not to. I was mocked by one of the town employees for wearing sweats to the council meetings when I was on council. I wasn't being paid to be on council, but he's being paid to work for us. Even tonight, I want to thank our attorney for showing up professionally dressed. It's what's needed in this town, and it's needed by our town manager. Looks to me like I still have 2 minutes to go, and I'll wait to see if he looks up and addresses me or gives me any attention at all.
Ms. Yates has the floor right now.
One minute, 20 seconds.
In closing, I want everybody up here to know I will not stand back idly and allow our town manager to treat me differently than he treats everybody else. Think of that.
Thank you.
I wasn't actually here for this, but after seeing this West Carolina speeding thing, I was very concerned because I ride bicycles all around town with my 6-year-old and my neighbor and their 6-year-old, and seeing 90 miles an hour in a 25 and 51, 59, 48, 50, 700 violators in 1 week. I mean, 700 violators, if we gave them all a ticket, we could probably afford to have more police officers giving more tickets. But that's kind of absurd, 90 miles an hour. If somebody on a bicycle got hit at 90 miles an hour, they would disintegrate. So, you know, that is something that anybody should be concerned about. So let's do better.
Thank you.
I just have a couple of things. One being that if the unfinished business could remain on the agenda until it's completed. If not, I feel like a lot of things that are spoken here and that are on the agenda get lost and never followed back up on. And I don't know, I feel very uncomfortable as an advocate for the town of Crewe of just the interaction that just happened. So I would ask the town council if they would look into maybe a leadership course, because I feel like we all need that, even if you think you're a great leader. Maybe that could be a team building activity where we could help each other communicate better. I think that is needed. And my last thing, I have 2 more things. In the absence of Tiffany, because she is able to be sick and off, if someone can learn how to run this equipment, because I do come a distance, and I was on YouTube the last time waiting for someone to hit the button, and it never happened. So if someone could be trained, so she could be off and be at peace. And then the last thing, I just wanted to follow up on the invasive bamboo that is behind Walnut Street. It looked like it started either in the alley or at another resident's house, and now it's growing into my lot as well as the lot beside with the neighbors, and I don't want it. So I don't know, the town of Crewe did try to come and cut some down, but it has to be something with the roots because it keeps growing. So if you guys can look into that, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else? I hope you can hear me. Part of my microphone fell off. Okay. All right, I'll close the public comments at this time. Moving on to review of bills.
Okay, council has their bill sheet. Any comments, questions, concerns?
Yeah. There were no questions about the bills. All right, staff reports, town managers report.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor. As mentioned, we're currently applying for a VEDP grant, $50,000 for abating the modest asbestos in the one building, but that also opens up the door to use that grant for other structural things. So that's exciting there. In fact, it was VEDP who encouraged me to apply that to other things as well. We did receive $4,800 for the Airfest. It was thought that we wouldn't get anything this year because they ran out of money in that program pretty quickly, but we were able to get $4,800 for the Airfest, and the interns are working on that diligently. We did withdraw the $50,000 VDP for assessing the old fire department for the use as the health department. It was council had waning interest in that project, and however it came out, it would have been an incredibly expensive prospect and difficult. So we did withdraw that application. We did apply for $1.3 million for converting all water meters to AMI. And that has been progressed to the next level beyond our congressperson and the House Finance Committee. So that one's making its way up. Mentioned the airport already. The police department are in their new facility. The sidewalks on Carter, that is, as we mentioned before, VDOT asked us to wait until towards the end of spring because they were filling potholes before then. They've started that. Unfortunately, the rain and an issue with procurement has delayed that, but they said concrete should be poured this week on that. Once that concrete is poured, it takes about 30 days to cure, and then we can look at the sidewalks. I'm sorry, that was the curb and gutter for the concrete. And then, let's see, are we still meeting with insurance reps, health insurance reps on the 15th? Okay, staff are meeting with health insurance reps, 17th, on the 17th. Let's see, the wayfinding signs are undergoing a VDOT permitting process. Those are paid for, most of it, 75% of that's paid for through a DHCD grant. We're replacing the panels on the old wayfinding sign, the one that's there in Ellington's. That should be ordered soon. We are currently also painting if you remember the old train-shaped signs that advertise the Railroad Museum, we have those. We were able to find the original patterns. We've cut them out and we're painting them. We're doing a little bit differently. It's going to be brighter and more eye-catching than the old black signs. Let's see. Or I mentioned the BLA, and that is it for town manager's report.
Okay, as we said, the police department has moved to their new location. Mayor's report, acting mayor's report. I did attend the opening of the new animal shelter several weeks ago, and I really extend my congratulations especially to Jack Boswell and the Nottoway Cares group who worked tirelessly and finally see the result of their hard work along with the cooperation of the Board of Supervisors. I also wish to extend my condolences to Councilwoman Sapp, who lost her mother a few days ago, and that's why she's absent. That's all I have.
Okay, if I can go back to the police report.
Sure.
Sure. In your police report, the police department did, at the request of council, put out our, it's a sign that's, not only does it tell you your speed when you're driving past, it also records the data of each car that passes. Few surprises for us. There were quite a few drivers on 2nd Street. much more than we would expect. But all the speed data is there for you. When the chief said that we posted that sign that collects data of every car that goes by. We did that for a week, and then we did Carolina Avenue at the request of council and especially Councilman Payne. We are looking into that 90 miles per hour. There was one car that reached a incredibly high speed. First, sure, please.
I've always lived one block off of 2nd Street, and that hill is always semi-problematic because people run both ways. But this data from the other end, from Venerable in West Carolina, I want to see. I've always said our officers need to spend less time on 460 writing tickets than they do on our streets writing tickets. Not only do you have the 90, which means they were flying down Carolina Avenue,
Yeah.
no way to possibly stop. But if you look at the percentages, 54% on day one, 54% were in violation. And I don't know what the tolerances are set. It may be 26 miles an hour that gets you marked in this. But in response to what we've heard tonight, in response to this data, they need to be working Carolina harder than they are, because the numbers are just, this is 136 violators in one day, 90 violators in a day, 91, 94, the percentages there are out of control. Yeah, 2nd Street is the same way. I did see the sign out there, and I think that probably what happens is people don't understand what that sign does and what it gives to us as far as the raw data of what's out there, and that's fine. As is usually the case, you only know what you know, and what you don't know, you either don't know it or you make it up as you go along. But this data from Venerable, that's got to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed like tomorrow.
Right, and looking at this, speed limit's 25. The speed average is still 25. So it's I guess some must have been driving much slower than the speed limit. Just looking at that one day. Average speed for the second day was 16. So yeah, I guess there are a lot of people who drive very slow on that end. But I will say with the one 90 miles per hour, we are looking into that. The first thing that we looked at was to see if there was some sort of a emergency call. There was no call at that time, either from the sheriff's department or us. So we are looking at that. But this, like you said, this is collecting data is the important first step. Identifying the problem and then sending people out there.
Yeah, I think we've identified at least 2 places where there are problems, and I would like for you to encourage Chief. We run, Height was running selective Sunday, and we've got this grant that it just pays our guys to go out and run radar.
Selective may just be for the highway, the 460, but I will.
It is useless to us to keep working selective if we're going to send our guys out on the edge of town, which is not the edge of town.
Sure. No, I agree, and we can absolutely set people out for.
Yeah, this the Venerable, this on Carolina. It won't take long if our guys start running radar and sitting there. It won't take long for the word to get around, write a few tickets.
Right, and the dates too. Let me just look up something real quick. The 24th was a. Okay, so that was a Sunday. So weekends tend to be a little bit more. But yes, we'll definitely look at that. That's all.
Okay. Town attorney's report.
Thank you. Been working with the town manager on a number of the items, some of which are on the agenda tonight. Have nothing else concrete to report. Glad to see the police department is moved into their new facility. I was happy to participate in that transaction and acquisition, and so that's all my report. Happy to answer any questions to the extent I'm able to do that.
Thank you. Moving on to committee reports. Finance Committee.
Waiting to get through the rest of the budget process.
Okay. Personnel, I have nothing. Community Development. Okay, moving on. Infrastructure. Okay. Economic development.
The county EDC met on last week. 2 weeks ago. And there was heard a lengthy presentation from Dominion, and I think I mentioned to council in your weekly notes that there are some projects we'd like to look at, potentially solar panels for the roof on this when we do those renovations, for which we have a grant for, as soon as the feds get back to me. There's also the possibility of free electric vehicle chargers, which would be strategically placed so that as people are charging their vehicles, they're also going to the Railroad Museum or shopping downtown and what have you. So those are some exciting projects that we're looking at.
Thank you. Planning Commission.
Nothing.
Okay.
Though there is in your packet, we will be discussing an appointment to the Planning Commission.
Yeah. Water Committee.
Hopefully still moving.
Yes.
Not treading water.
All right, under new business, abandonment request.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor. Again, the request comes at the request of property owners. The parcel in question is undeveloped, has no town infrastructure. I've already been through all this. Staff recommends approval. No one spoke at the public hearing.
Looking for the appropriate motion so we can
If I may, Madam Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Town Manager, you will need an ordinance to certify. So if it's approved by council, we can prepare an ordinance that you will then certify and record with the county land records.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
Well, if council is comfortable with us drafting that,
You could do it that way, subject to approval of the town attorney.
Okay.
I would suggest if they are in a mood to approve it tonight, I would bring the ordinance back next month, and then they could take action on the ordinance.
Sure. Okay. Well, if in that case, if we can, we'll put it on the work session because we will have a work session later this month to vote on the budget, so we can do it at that time.
Okay.
sounds good.
Perfect. And is everyone just sort of in favor of it? Anyone have any comments, questions, concerns about it?
That also is gonna put us closer to our June 30th deadline on the RFP. So we can see.
Well, no, I'm sorry. This is the request for abandonment.
Oh, I'm looking at property acquisitions.
Nope, that's okay.
I don't have a problem with the abandonment at all.
Okay.
Nor do I.
Whatever steps we have to go through to make it happen.
Perfect.
I am curious though, if I can ask a question. Is there a reason why this came up? I'm just curious. It's been there for 120 years.
Yes, they indicate in their letter.
He wants to build a bigger house and needs the property.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a problem with it.
Yep.
As long as there's no infrastructure there.
And we may have another request in a future meeting for that alley as well. We also had a request for McDonald Street, which is an undeveloped street that I don't even think that there's any current developed street named McDonald Street. But that one cannot be abandoned because it has sewer lines on it.
So just FYI, if you all do abandon this street here, that's the subject of tonight's discussion. Once that roadway would be abandoned, the adjacent property owners would take ownership of the property up to the center line of the right-of-way. So they would take ownership of that property, it would be theirs, and the tax records would reflect that, and they'd have to pay taxes on that property, of course. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
Okay.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So what happened to the pavement on Second Street at Stanton and England down in there? What happened to that? Was that from last year council, we pretty much was on top of that, and then now all of a sudden it just disappeared?
Are you talking about paving Second and
Second Street at Stanton
Yeah.
We talked about
and
that,
England, you remember we were talking about it in the
and
meeting?
council had
but we talked about
taken
it
that off the.
at the, yeah, that's what I'm getting to. We We talked about it at the same time we were talking about the paving on the, at the Crewe Village Apartments and the stuff down there on Gatewood for, Mr. Patterson in that area. And I think that when we went across, it was just determined that wasn't the right time to do that yet. Because we were doing all of that other.
Okay, so that brings me a question to ask on this Berkeley around what's the other street there? I mean, that's gonna be a lot of development. Which one is the most important? Don't nobody use that up there.
Where?
Up here where Berkeley Street connects to,
I don't even know what Berkeley Street is.
what that man got all that mess pulled up by there, y'all. When you go up Carolina after you pay Ellipson Street,
Yep,
if your next street is,
to the right, across from the,
no, going by the church.
Yeah, that's, I believe that's
It's your next street.
Perkel Street. Is it
Yeah,
Perkel or
and that's what they talking about, they're standing there. You told me just now, said there was an alley there. And with trees in it, and they wanted to extend one over to the next street.
I was talking about those, I didn't even know about that one.
I would suggest, Councilman Stith, why don't you bring those suggestions to the next meeting with your,
What are we trying to figure out?
in the infrastructure report, so that we can all
I don't even know which, I know which street you're talking about now.
consider it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, the house with all the stuff in the yard.
Yeah.
I know what corner you're talking about.
Going back to the abandonment request, we do need a motion. I think you were, until,
Bring back.
I think we're just gonna draft a,
Well, I would request a direction from town council on whether to proceed with that, because I don't want to go to the trouble of preparing an ordinance.
I would make a motion that the town manager and in conjunction with the town attorney move forward with the necessary work to abandon the requested piece of property, and whatever that entails.
A second.
all right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye, thank you. All right, also, next item under new business, the boundary line adjustment.
okay, boundary line adjustment. Any comments, questions, concerns?
No.
Okay,
So do we need a motion?
we do need a motion to approve the boundary line adjustment, and what I'll do with Eric is I will just take the last boundary line adjustment and change a few words and make it suitable for this boundary line adjustment.
Okay.
So do you need the same thing authorizing you to move forward with that work?
Yes, sir.
Or
Yes, sir, please.
before I get fussed at? All right, I'll go ahead and again make a motion to authorize the town manager in conjunction with our town attorney to prepare any necessary documentation in order to move forward with the proposed boundary line adjustment so that we can go ahead and, outside of the motion, set the hearing with the county.
Right, so the county can set their own hearing. We're already done with ours. All we need to do is approve it.
Get the last 10 words that I said then. I make a motion that the town manager, in conjunction with the town attorney, move forward with whatever documentation and action is necessary to complete the boundary line adjustment as proposed in tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next is the property acquisition.
Okay, does council have any questions, comments, concerns? I've got things I can say, but
I took a lot of notes. I think I would like a little more time to review and think about it. I don't know how everybody else feels.
I'd like for all of council to be here whenever we.
That's a good
something
point.
like that.
Okay.
I will say, just for edification, 100 Carolina does have over $100,000 in the facade grants, and I have communicated with another individual associated with the nonprofit and explained that while we would not be eligible for that DHCD planning grant, because that is the same planning grant that we got for revitalization, and the way DHCD works, they only do one project at a time in a given specific area, and that is already in our specific area. I did recommend that they, solidify the vision for 100 West Carolina Ave, West Carolina, as well as other adjacent properties. So, just having a specific vision that helps us in identifying and writing grants. 2, determine the building construction needs, what must be repaired to make the building usable, being specific with professional quotes and estimates if possible. Again, that helps with the grant writing. And then 3, identifying partners, including investors, business and users and stakeholders most impacted by the project. I mentioned that we're participating in the DHCD Booms program, which is, we're meeting with them on Thursday. And we can include 100 West Carolina as one of the handful of properties as one of our priorities to receive a pro forma. Ask them to mark their calendars for June 29th through 30th, which is the when they're going to come and talk to the public about all that. It's the public engagement section. I mentioned Virginia Housing Community Impact Grants can also help fund market research and design and engineering studies, which would be the same thing that the DHCD grant does. I mentioned the DHCD Industrial Revitalization Grant, which the cycle opened June 1st. 100 West Carolina should be eligible as it's what they call a white elephant building in the heart of the revitalization area. They specifically mention former hotels, which this building is, as eligible properties. Also mentioned the VEDP Brownfields grant, which again, you can either get the $50,000 planning grant, which we've gotten before and which we're looking at for another, or there's another $500,000 grant. And all of these grants can be packaged against each other as the match for these other grants. So I'm trying to work with these individuals to find the money. It's just about understanding exactly what it is that needs to be done and what the vision is for these grant applications.
So are we still talking about the property acquisition?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was just responding to some things from
Can I have a moment?
please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
So at various times over the last several months, my phone has blown up, text messaging, people on Facebook. And the reason I mentioned the phrase a little while ago that you only know what you know, because this entire situation has been thrown out there with innuendo and assumptions of things that never took place. And just for the record, and for everybody listening at home, if you don't know what you don't know, then you need to wait until you do. The reason that council does things the way that they do, that every legislative body in the country has a closed session purpose, is so that you can deal with issues at the ground level. And the reason that you don't know what you don't know is because this council actually did a pretty good job of doing what they're supposed to do, and that's keep closed session information in closed session. Mm-hmm. And, it was encouraging to have as many faces show up tonight as they did, while at the same time somewhat discouraging that as soon as they got finished and decided to quit chewing, they decided to get up and leave. And I will say the same thing now. I've said it publicly. I'll say it tomorrow, next week, next year. If you want this seat, there's a date and a time and you can get this seat. If you want to take action in your community, you do exactly what these people, the whole 2 of them that are left do. You come to the meeting and you make your things known and you keep at it like Ms. Parker keeps at it until she gets done what she wants to do. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I would encourage every person in this town who thinks that I have done a bad job, Jackie's done a bad job, or Phil is a horrible town manager. If you're not here every month in these seats, then again, as I said in the paper, my obligation to listen to you once every 6 months when you want to come fuss at people becomes a lot less, because I'm more focused on what's better for the town. Things like water, things like new business, things like beautification, things that we've heard people sitting on this council for years jumping up and down about, including a couple of people that were here tonight. And so now that we're at that position where we can start making ground, it's time to find something else. And I don't know where I stand on some of these issues yet. I still don't. What I do know is every month there should be people in these chairs making their feelings known. Every month, if you can call my phone while I'm at a ball game and want to chew my ear off, you can get up off your couch and you can come in here and you can do it the way that we do it. I congratulate the other members of council for us to have gone through the process that we've gone through, for it to stay in-house because it needed to stay in-house, and for people not to know what they don't know. That took a lot, especially when the stories began. So congrats to you. It is what it is, and we'll move forward as we feel is the best for the town of Crewe. So thanks for the work that you've done, Phil, and we'll see where it all plays out.
Thank you. And I also did just want to mention, because it was an important point brought up, the revitalization plan. Again, that's a conceptual plan. It's not a written in stone, this is what we have to do. A lot of that plan depends on the willingness of property owners.
It was also several years ago.
Right. It's also, there's different alternatives for each building, and it's all conceptual alternatives.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Next on the agenda is the August meeting. Our town manager will be away.
Mercifully. August the 10th.
Let me dig around here. Hold on.
But we're looking at, if council so desires to move it, the week before, so August the 3rd would be I think the best date, unless.
What'd you say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Sean.
I'm looking for my calendar.
Okay, August 3rd.
Robin and I would most likely be unavailable also on the 10th.
Oh, on the 10th. Oh, okay.
On
So
the
it's
10th.
Even better to.
Yeah, there's a back-to-school parking lot party or, woo.
I don't know whether I will be here on the 3rd or not. I'm supposed to be at Myrtle Beach the 30th, 31st, 1st, and 2nd. So I may be traveling back.
Well, could we tentatively set it for the 3rd and then,
As long as you have a quorum.
yeah,
Perfect. So we'll do that and
Okay.
go from there. August 3rd.
thank you. All right, moving on to unfinished business. Budget.
Okay, and this is discussion only because the state code does require us to wait and vote at a meeting separate from the public hearing.
And maybe this is the time for me to again. So looking at the budget overall that you presented, I'm okay with the numbers that I see. I don't see anything that jumps out. I do want to, again, this time for the record, say that I don't like the idea of picking and choosing and doing salary adjustments outside of a salary study that says that we have certain positions that don't meet a certain level. And I know that, we did one several years ago, and we had one position, one job that was out of line. I'm not comfortable, and I don't like the idea of us arbitrarily changing pay scales. If you want to do it, then let's work on the budget some more and move it for everybody. But the compression that you keep speaking about that you're trying to relieve, you're actually causing when you drive the low up and you don't move everybody the same way. I still have a problem with the fact that I still believe Public Works is one man down, and we have debated this ad nauseum. I don't see in there where that has been addressed, at least in my quick review today. But in general, the numbers appear to be okay, and since those things are line items that can be worked within the budget once it's approved, I'll give my blessing to the budget, but I would still like to have more discussion with you over those two things before we move forward with those.
Sure. And This salary study, I will just say, is outdated. It was done right around the COVID era, and it needs to be updated because things have changed quite a lot since then. I was considering trying to do that before the budget, but would have condensed everything into.
Yeah.
Which is also why I'm splitting the equity increases over two years, rather than, so we can really look at.
I understand what you're trying to do. I don't like the concept.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments about the budget, questions? Okay. TFE exemption.
Okay, yes, and I asked Eric to take a look at this because I know there were some questions the last time we discussed this. Basically, there's an administrative burden for having any type of event with food. The food trucks and food booths and such need to all pay a fee, and everything has to be sent to the health department a month beforehand. This would exempt, localities are allowed to pass an ordinance that would exempt from that. But this doesn't exempt any sort of food safety, food handling, and that is all done by the health officer, and the health officer of any town is the county health department. So the county health department still has the authority and probably responsibility to come in and do the inspections of any food items.
So all we would be doing is cutting through some of the bureaucratic red tape, basically putting it under an umbrella allowed for the towns.
Correct.
So that we could hold these events without the producers having to jump through all the hoops.
Correct.
And Eric, you're confident that?
Yes, sir. These ordinances are in place in communities around the Commonwealth pursuant to the statutory authority, Virginia Code Section 35.1-26. Phil prepared an ordinance that is compliant with that code section, and as long as the ordinance is followed and pursuant to the state statute, then we have the local health department overseeing it, serving in that role as the local health officer, then I'm fine.
I'm good with that. He's good with it.
So do you need a motion, or?
Yes, please. Just a motion. Do I have the draft motion in there? Oh, I do have a suggested motion in there. So if a council member wants to move that council adopts the ordinance amending the town code to exempt certain food booths at fairs from state food establishment requirements pursuant to Code of Virginia, Section 3.1-26, as presented.
35.1.
Thank you. 35.1-26, as presented.
I so move.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on to Planning Commission.
Architectural Review Board, I believe this is first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Last meeting, a couple meetings ago, we did appoint the first member of the Architectural Review Board. Remember, it's 5 members, 3 of which are downtown business or property owners. We appointed Lee Simmons previously. I was able to find another individual who seems to be especially qualified. Lives in Blackstone. His name is Michael Doc McGee. Lives in Blackstone, has been there for 17 years, retired from the Army. He owns MCC Restore and More LLC, which does historic restoration, design, consultation, remodeling, architectural millwork, including cabinetry and furniture, since 1993, and has both Virginia and North Carolina licenses. And there's potential, especially because he's currently in the Pickett area that's all getting sold. There's potential, we've looked at a potential for moving his business to Crewe. A few things need to happen before that, but he's looked at that. But he has experience in the industry. I think he would make a great.
I think he's retired command sergeant major.
Oh, okay, very good.
Big dog.
All right, Planning Commission. Oh, I'm sorry.
If we can have a motion to appoint him.
So do I need to?
No, just you're fine.
No point.
Motion to appoint. Second. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Now Planning Commission.
Now
Finally.
Planning Commission. I don't know why I'm
Vice
so
Mayor, it's a
excited
special-
about that. I just keep skipping everything to get there.
We did have an individual who asked to be taken off the Planning Commission at the end of the current year, which leaves an opening position. We also have an individual who is very excited about getting involved in town government. Her name is Samantha Sadler. She lives
Yes.
on Powell Street. I guess she's one of my neighbors. And she's good friends with, she's friends with the Vice Mayor and Councilwoman Estes.
And she has a cute dog.
Oh, okay, very good. And also, there's that one first. So she'd be, placing an art booth. But then council also needs to consider appointing the council representative, because the former mayor was also the representative to the Planning Commission.
I'll make a motion to appoint Samantha Sadler to the Planning Commission.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, congratulations to Samantha. Now, anybody volunteer to serve on the Planning Commission? When do they meet?
Generally monthly, Tuesdays, I believe, but they've only met a couple times in the last year, so we can adjust the time according to whatever council member wants to do that.
I'm not even sure I'm running again, much less volunteering.
Well, again, and we can revisit after the election as well. But this is just to get us through.
All right, I will agree to do it until we figure something else out.
I guess we do need a motion, though, to appoint Vice Mayor Stinson to serve as council's representative to the Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Okay, well, just keep me posted.
Perfect.
Because I'll probably, all right, I should have been skipping to this one all along.
Yeah, well,
Mayor appointment.
so we have not received any applications yet. I did post or repost on social media on Friday, Thursday. We are still waiting. I understand there may be someone running for the position, for the long-term position already.
I heard somebody put it in, yes.
Okay, if that individual's interested, have them, if.
I don't know the individual, I have no idea.
Oh, okay, I see. I did actually reach out to the voter registrar just to get a list of names so far, but have not heard back. So if you know of anyone interested in serving as mayor until December 31st, you can certainly appoint them. And we'd encourage them to do so.
Okay. Thank you. Informational items, share the air.
Sure. So at the last meeting, council agreed to let these high school kids come and speak about the Share the Air campaign, which is anti-smoking and such, Sean. So be nice to them. They're of course in high school, so they're off the summer and are unavailable until September. So I said that they can present. They'll probably present virtually at the September meeting.
That's the safest way to do it.
Exactly. And then just other informational items, just some events. Remember that your election packets are due June 16th. That is next week? Next week, a week from tomorrow. Please get those in. Otherwise, it's it's up to write-ins. And if anyone's interested in running for those positions, I'm happy to answer any comments, questions, concerns about that. Town office is closed June 19th for Juneteenth. The Airfest is July 2nd. Very excited about that. We've got several food trucks planned, some other vendors. We have a Touch a Truck this year, so bring out your youngins to go and play on trucks and cars and vehicles and such. And of course, ending with fireworks. The town office is closed on July 3rd for July 4th. The 100+ mile yard sale is July 4th. We also have another food truck rodeo this Friday, I believe.
Isn't it 12? Yeah, I think so.
And then the town pancake, maybe supper, is on the fourth Thursday of every month. Last month was hot dogs.
Barbecue and fishing pig.
Oh, really? Okay.
Doing
well,
that again?
I think that's what I saw on Facebook.
Okay,
Oh,
well then
good.
get here early for that because that sold out last time.
That
pretty
was
quick.
popular. Uh-huh.
I did also reach out to our legislators. They are on their own, vacations in both July and today and in August. So September will be probably the earliest that we can have them. Any comments, questions, concerns on that? Oh, I also put in your packet a clearer, hopefully, version than you had last time of the where all the positions stand for election and such.
Okay.
Just where we are, how we got here, what's up next.
Thank you. Public comment? Ms. Parker, I thought maybe you had a question.
This to kind of clarify and let's make a note. So for the sidewalk, VDOT has actually done Crewe's part because I talked to Aaron, so not sure if you're aware of that. And was the grant achieved or received for the sidewalk? Because in October, you were pretty firm on that you were going to get the grant. Was that the same grant for the sidewalks, or is that something different?
The VDOT is responsible for curb and gutter, and curb and gutter is always the first thing that they do because that has to cure, and then you can do sidewalks. So I'm not sure what
they went
the communication, but well,
they went beyond. It's okay. I'm just because I just want you to know, because if you don't, Yes, which I appreciate. Aaron, Mr. French did. So I'm just saying, so you would know, because I know you probably don't walk around that corner, is that not that it has to be pushed aside, but that they actually did that part. They're going to complete that, and that's up to the meter. So it's kind of going past the curb and gutter.
Okay.
But that.
And then to answer your second question, I believe I can publicly, well, ask me again next month.
Okay, that's fine. I'm good with following up.
Okay.
And then the next thing, I just want to kind of speak for the people for 1 second. It's hard to come up here in front of you guys to speak. If you're not a person with a personality that could kind of keep coming back. And so the town, and as well as everybody around the table, needs a little healing, right? We need to be gentle with each other. And I'm saying this because sometimes it's miscommunicated. It's easy to stand behind a phone or a computer and type. That's because you're not being rejected, okay? So sometimes it's hard for you guys to receive information from us. And so I think if we kind of break some barriers, do healthy boundaries, we can actually have a great town. Not saying it's not great now, because I love the people here, but a better town. And so I just want to say it is hard sometimes for people who've never come to the meetings to actually just sit there, because they don't know if they're going to have to talk to you guys, be rejected, or whatever. So it's grace on both sides. That's all I'm saying.
Could I respond to that?
Yes.
And I wasn't trying to throw darts way I was at a couple of people.
It's okay, because they're watching, so they want to make a sense.
There's a purpose in my madness.
Yeah, I agree.
You've known me since you were in school.
Yeah.
I was a substitute teacher. You see what you get. There's no miscommunication. There's no doubting what it is. But it blows my mind the number of people that are allegedly concerned behind their keyboard, and yet this is the room where it happens.
Yeah.
These folks here have come in with a strong, this is a problem, we want it addressed, and he's been instructed to have the PD put the cops on the street. That happened after you guys walked out, by the way. It is amazing. I've been doing this for 6 years now.
Yeah.
And it just blows me away, the number of people that will come and blow you up and chew you up and put things on Facebook. And I usually avoid most of that. But they won't come in here.
Yeah.
And they won't advise council, because if he's not doing his job, that needs to come to us.
Yeah, and
Because we're his boss.
yeah, not to cut across you. I think that's important.
If it doesn't come to us, then we get accused of giving leeway or ignoring issues.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And you've done a very good job of If you don't feel like you're getting the response that you deserve to
Yeah.
get for taking your time, then you hold us accountable.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that a
Yeah.
whole lot more than I do people out there.
It's okay. I mean, sometimes it's, you know, our feelings get bruised, right? I mean, that's the way of the life, right? And people do not understand you guys' roles, right? Like who's in charge, who's the boss, who, you know, at the end of the day, I think just like a little education. I think on both sides. I think that is a win-win situation. And I think when we take the personal out and say, hey, you're hired to do a job, but we're not hired as people to work in the community to be disrespected. You know, that is just a line. So I just want to say that because sometimes people do not feel heard. And that's on both sides. I'm not just saying for the community, but for you guys too. And I think it's going to take for everybody to come together really to be heard. It is frustrating sometimes because you don't really understand the process, right? And so I keep coming because I have a business here. You know, my nieces are being raised in here. So I'm going to advocate the fullest because I want the best not only for myself and my family, but my community. So, you know, that's just my thing, not everybody. But then the next thing, and then I'm really done tonight, is I want to kind of educate the town manager a little bit. The reason why it's important for I Rock My Scars to work with DHCD is because they've already built that rapport and relationship. And I do totally understand there's other grants they would love. I think they put on your calendar for Friday. They would love to hear about it and love to meet with you. However, this is an email from Joanne Pierman. And she's actually the associate director. It says, hello, I Rock My Scars. If the Town of Crewe chooses to apply for another community development block grant, it will not jeopardize any existing CDBG award. The locality may choose to complete one grant at a time, which is totally their prerogative. However, a planning grant is not as labor intensive as a project grant, which is construction, and may not present as many challenges since the funds in the planning grant are primarily for consultants to produce reports on feasibility. So anytime you go for a planning grant, it's just that, to plan. You really can't go for other grants because they've been denied the grant for the historic Black and Indigenous. It was because a planning grant wasn't done. And then in your planning grant, as a Town and Crewe is you did not include the housing. So if you want the hotel to be a housing place, it has to have a planning grant to include the housing is needed. So these funds are not going to come out of Crewe's pocket. It's a nonprofit, so they don't have a lot of money like the Town of Crewe to do matching. So right now they're doing projects in Blackstone, which is the building new construction homes for affordable housing. That money is allocated already for that. So participating in this grant would help not only the nonprofit, but the Town of Crewe, because that piece of information is missing from your planning comprehensive plan or the planning grant you just did. Now, if it's in there, that's fine. Just shoot them an email, attach it, you can highlight it, direct them to what line item, and then they could put that in their grant because they're applying again for the Black and Indigenous grant, which is for that hotel. So just a little education. And be open, you know? We don't know everything. You hold a title, it's okay. Sometimes you may feel like you have to have all the right answers. It's okay to say, hey, let's sit at the table and talk. I think that's the main thing because the nonprofit really wants to work with the Town of Crewe, and we don't want the building to be private. I think the more you push back, the more it's like you're not open to work with them. And they have done a whole lot in the Town of Crewe, which, you know, it doesn't make the newspaper because they're not here for that. But I would say stay open because we don't want to shut them down because they really are trying to improve that corner. And that's a workforce hub that they're trying to do. So they're trying to turn that one little area with the cafe into the workforce housing program. So you would have your resource store, which is like a thrifting store, which would raise money for the nonprofit. And you would have the cafe. You already have the beauty salon where kids come in and they're over there braiding hair, which teaches them how to be an incubator business. So it's things happening in the community that probably have no idea, but it's working. So I would say stay open-minded and not shut them down. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Just to respond, Vice Mayor. Once again, I had asked DHCD about planning grants in the same area where we're currently doing the facade improvement, the construction grant. And they said that they look at the one grant at a time for that area, because the next planning grant that we do want to get for that area is streetscape grant. And in fact, I'm actually looking at other opportunities for streetscape. I can't remember what it is that I applied for recently for that. But there are other planning grants that achieve the same purpose. With housing, Virginia Housing has grants available. So we're not shutting it down. We're just saying these are other opportunities, and all of these individuals talk to each other. So having a relationship with one puts you in a good position to have a relationship with others. Richmond's a small place.
I agree. We met with Virginia Housing. We walked the community. I showed them everything that's here. It is totally the same thing. Virginia Housing is the top hub for DHCD. My question to you, and I'm going to be, I'd rather you direct your answers to me because I'm the one asking you, right? My thing is this yes or no? Are you open to asking town council to extend on our behalf as a nonprofit to apply for the grant for DHCD? If not, it's okay. We'll wash it away, and this will go on record that you did not help. And you don't have to, because like that email said, it's your prerogative. You can apply for different grants. The street is a total different grant. It's not the same thing. You can apply for as many as you want to. That's what the email said, and that came from the head, okay? So I get it. Maybe it's not the right time for you. Maybe you're overwhelmed because of everything else that's going on, and that's fine. I'm not trying to make a combative thing. I just want a yes or no, and I'm okay either way. We'll just move on. But I don't want to keep beating the dead horse and keep, the emailing you, trying to find out answers. If you're not open for it, it's okay. That's what the email said.
Okay. Yes, we are very open to applying for any grants that we are eligible for.
Okay.
And we want to work with anyone who wants to, improve downtown. And as I mentioned in the email, there are many, many opportunities. Mm-hmm. Let's sit down and plan it out. Just be open to alternatives that we're more likely to get, or at least put together some sort of a plan so that we know what it is in writing, what the vision is, and then what are the costs, so we can write these grants.
Yeah, and that's not a problem. They have it all because they've received other grants. So they've already talked to Virginia Housing, and this is Virginia Housing telling them what to do to get more grants for this area. So if they, have 4 buildings that is in this hub, to me, I would work more with Virginia Housing knowing that you can get the grant and they're walking us through. The issue that I guess we're trying to not have is spending unnecessary money. So if the planning grant helps with $50,000, and that's money that you don't have to come up with, then why not apply for the $50,000 and let the nonprofit get the grant so we can have housing under our umbrella for the downtown area? And the building, they already have a business plan. They already have what they want. I think we talked about 100 Carolina when I first got it. We want it to be a housing hub, but we also want to be where you work and you get discounted rental. That is one thing Virginia Housing gave us, an idea to say, hey, people do not have places to live that's affordable, and it will give them access to walking downtown. We just want to make it better. So whatever that looks like, if you feel comfortable in applying for the other grants, you have a meeting on Friday, share with them. I just do not want to get backlash on why 100 West Carolina still looks raggedy. I really want them to move forward with it and let that be a cornerstone project where we're all proud of it. That's it.
All right, any other public comment? Mr. Foss.
My name is Bill Foss. I noticed that there are 2 new signs at the museum. I was just curious, did you go out for bid on those?
No. How did we do those? I don't believe so.
Okay, because I was curious, why not? Because I know the town is always looking to save money. And looking at the bill sheet, I know that I could have saved you money.
Okay. Well, we will keep you in mind for the next signs that we do.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, announcements and points of personal privilege.
I'll go first, why not? Two things. Thank you for paying attention to the speeding in both areas. We do need to kind of really address that. You might be a little surprised when you figure out who's doing 90 miles an hour in Carolina. Just giving you the heads up. Number two is we have an ordinance in town for jake breaks in town, do we not?
Yes.
For what? I didn't
Just
understand.
tractor trailers with their
In
jake
fact, I
brakes.
think
Yes.
it's a state law, isn't it?
Well, here's your ordinance.
Okay.
Here, we do have one.
Right.
The problem is they're 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, they're coming down 460. As soon as they get in front of Bravos, they just start slamming the jake brakes so they can go down the hill, and it's just getting really, really bad. I watched Sunday afternoon trying to go down the road to Dollar General. Tractor trailer came over the hill, slammed on the jake brake. The woman in the car in front of the butt had a heart attack. I thought she was gonna run off the road. She went like this because she didn't know what was going on. So I think, and it says we have to have signs on each end of the town, which we do not have.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a class 2 misdemeanor.
Thank you.
That's it.
Councilman Stith? Davis?
Good.
Nothing?
Me either. All right. No closed session tonight, is that still
Not unless
accurate?
anyone wants one.
All right. All right. I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Are we?
I mean, not gonna get home before we get shot.
Hey, Rick.
Hey.
As soon as she's done.
I wanna see what's for dinner before it gets cold.